Oh, these motherfuckers is tripping. Now, I see everybody talking about this, but I don't see nobody saying what really needs to be fucking said. So listen up. Now, first things first. This is a 12-year-old boy. 12. He probably doesn't even order his food when they go out to eat. He probably changes what he wants to be when he gets older every 5 seconds. He might not even be into girls yet, if that's what he gonna be into. My point is, he is not old enough or mature enough to decide whether he wants to switch genders or not. That is a life-changing decision. He hasn't even experienced manhood yet. And you telling me he's ready to be a woman? If my son would have woke up to me and say that shit, I'm not taking no bullshit ass excuse like, I want to live my truth. No, little nigga, you need to live your life as a boy, because that's what the fuck you are. Now that's my initial response. But after that, I'm going to tell him you need to go to counseling. Because obviously you think something is wrong if you don't want to be a boy anymore. Now I know this may upset some of you. You might think it's homophobic, transphobic, gender, whatever the fuck, phobic. But the truth hurts sometimes, my nigga, and this shit needs to be said. I cannot sit back no longer and allow y'all to enable this bullshit. If someone is sick, you give them medicine. If someone is an alcoholic, you take them to treatment. If someone is on drugs, you take the drugs away. But if somebody is born with gender dysphoria or think they were born in the wrong gender, you enable them to continue to think that? Or wouldn't it make sense to get them help? And I get it, Dwayne Wade was trying to do what most parents want to do, which is the best thing for their child. You want to support them, be non-judgmental, be there for them. I get it. But this is not support. This is enabling. This is supporting mental illness. I bet you if he got up and said, "Ruff, ruff, daddy, I want to be a dog," he would not be on Ellen talking about some goddamn supportive parenting. He would have been like, "Nigga, you ain't no goddamn dog. Let's go. What you talking about?"
I mean, well, sis has some points that I kind of agree with, but it's like, that ain't my damn business. But I will comment on what she said. So, like, number one, when people compare human beings to animals, it's just absurd. Like, nobody would ever say, "Oh, I want to be a dog." Like, that's just not a thing. Like, you still want to be a human. You just don't feel that you were born in the right body, which, by all means, I don't think God makes any mistakes, but I also woke up with these breasts today, and I was okay with that. Some people aren't. At no point in time has Dwayne Wade said that his son is about to get gender reassignment surgery. He is allowing his child to identify with the gender that he believes, that she believes to be. Which, okay, that's his business. If he wants to support that, he's being a good parent in his mind. I don't disagree that he's being a good parent. He could be like, I don't know, some of these people who leave their kids out in the street and they die from having to try to survive or suicide. Like, those things happen to people. So I understand why he wants to support his child. I agree with the counseling part, though. I agree with the counseling part because if in the future she decides to get the reassignment of the gender, counseling is a requirement. Like, these people are required to go to counseling before there is any surgery done. Like, they have to do years worth of therapy in order to even have a doctor sign off on it. People be speaking about stuff that they don't know. Like, if you've ever actually sat and had a conversation with a trans person who actually had the surgery done, they'll tell you the steps that they had to go through in order to have the surgery done in the first place. Like, I don't know. My whole thing about it is, I don't know if I agree with, well, I don't have to agree with it because that's, who am I? But I don't completely feel like it's necessarily an issue of the body that you were born into, more so the social things that come along with the body that you were born into. Like, there are expectations and roles that are expected of men, and there are roles and expectations that are expected of women. I think if a lot of those things were kind of like tossed to the side a bit more, people would be more comfortable in the body that they were born into. But I don't know, maybe you look down sometimes and you're like, why do I have this here penis or vagina, and feel like no, I'm not supposed to have that, I'm supposed to pee another way. I don't personally know, but I think people should let other people live their lives. That it's the pronouns aren't really that big of a deal. Just call people what they want to be called. Like, I want to be called Anita, right? Just call me Anita. If by 10 years from now, which is not going to happen, if 10 years from now I want to be called Alejandro, call me Alejandro. It's just that simple. It's not, you can't define who someone else is, child or not. And granted, I don't think children should have the decision of what gender they should be. I also think children shouldn't be having sex at 12, but I know people who was out here knocking boots at 10. So just because you have the desires doesn't mean that you have that maturity level, if that makes sense. Like, the person who I wanted to be at 12, I'm not that person at 30. That's not to say that Zaya won't want to be Zaya at 30. I'm just saying we don't know what life holds, but honestly, it's not our business. It's minding your business is free and it's effective. That's all I'm saying.